Hi everyone and welcome to the first episode of the No Days Off podcast. This is a space showcasing the completely insane to discuss how they lead their lifestyle that reflects dedication, discipline and commitment to their way of life. The reason for this podcast is to flood you with positivity and to inspire you to get up and to start achieving your goals, whether that may be in fitness, business, romance, or just in your personal life. This is the space where we're going to teach you how to be the best that you can be. So my name is Courtney, just to introduce myself. I will be your lovely host here on out going forward. And today I've got a bit of an introduction for this one. So apologies, I'm gonna read this one off because I have many boxes to tick and I don't want to forget it. So today I am joined by Mr. No Days Off himself, the founder of No Days Off UK. Make sure you go have a little look on Instagram and socials and TikTok for this one. Strength and conditioning coach. What? 9 years as a natural men's physique competitor, British and international titles, then receiving his IFBB Pro card in 2023. What? And if you don't recognize this face, you'll probably recognize his feet pedaling on the exercise bike. And he's got the waist of Elastigirl. Let's not forget about that. So let's meet the most militant mind there is in the game, out here making it look easy, Joshua Ortiz.
Hi guys, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me on the No Days Off show.
So how are you? You feeling good?
Feeling good, yeah. Had a great year last year. And 2024 is starting good.
Good? Looking good? Fresh trim?
Always good, man. You know me.
Just for me, hey? For the people.
For the people. That's what I do it for.
But you came with clothes on, which is upset about.
I mean, I'm not on stage, yeah. When it hits stage time, I'm always ready.
Give the people what they want.
On stage.
So, I want to start with some icebreakers just to warm up the episode.
All right. Let's go.
Right. Let's get to know you a little bit more. So what old people things do you do? What would you say is like a elderly habit that you have?
Old people things.
Yeah.
What old things? I would say I like, back in the day when people used to take pictures and actually like on like an actual, what are cameras called?
Disposable cameras.
Yeah, and then you have to go and get it either to the shop and then they have to print it off for you to actually get your pictures that you took. I kind of like that. I kind of like that old type thing, when we have iPhones now and everyone's taking pictures on there and it's all saved on their phone, you have 1,000 pictures, you hardly even go through them. It's not, I don't think it's the same. I don't think it gives you the same feeling anymore. Mm-hmm. I liked it when my dad used to have that album book where we would go through all the pictures and all the things we used to do when we go to the beach and we go to the park and we got all those nice pictures or family pictures and we can go through it's just a nice memorable thing to have, and I think that's kind of my old type. I would prefer that, so I started actually doing that. So I deleting all things off my phone and actually trying to print out pictures and keep an album, especially for my competing. I think it's nice to be able to look back and be I remember that day.
I remember as a kid when we would have family get-togethers.
Yeah.
And then my granddad would come down with a big old, almost like a binder type feel of album. And it was poof on the table. It's got so much depth to it. And he's got so many memories of when him and my nan first came over here to the country.
Yeah.
And it's basically just literally a timeline of their whole life.
Yeah.
Whereas now when we look back at our photos, I think my mum's only got some of us I would say under being a teenager. And then from teen onwards, we just don't really have any printed pictures. It's a bit sad.
Yeah.
So no, I like that one. Next question. What song do you sing or dance to alone that you wouldn't admit to your boys?
The boys know that I'm a big Drake fan, but what songs that I wouldn't tell them that I dance to alone? Michael Jackson. Yeah, I think it's more of, I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, but it's it's not something I'm going to tell the boys.
So that's something you're going to put in the car.
Moonwalk and spinning in the bathroom, them ones. Feel good. I feel like my family, we grew up loving Michael Jackson. So yeah, like we're a big Michael Jackson fan. Love his music, love his dancing and stuff like that. So that's probably one of the songs that I'll be dancing to, you know, by myself. And I just like imagine I'm him, like all those moves. Yeah, I think that's the song.
My sister used to love Michael Jackson, and when she was younger, my mum used to catch her in the living room singing to the Earth song, like with her hands in the air, just like
hair dryer, like
literally, like she would like be caught like that all the time. So anytime I think of Michael, I think of her. So maybe she's listening.
Maybe she is.
Maybe she's listening. Hello. So what if you could? Stop. If you could bring back a trend, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. If I could bring back a trend, it would be Tim's, wearing Tim's. You know, Tim's or kickers. I got a good story for the kickers one. But Tim's, do you know why? Because whenever I was a little kid, I used to love the brown type color, the original ones. I used to love it. And it always seemed to go out and come back into fashion for some reason. I don't know, but I love the look in jeans, like baggy jeans and how guys looked then.
Very 90s.
Yeah, very 90s.
That Fresh Prince of Bel-Air era. Yeah.
Trust me. And kickers. I don't know if you know what kickers are. Do you know what
I
kickers
actually don't. Do you know what? I just sat in silence because when you said kickers, I was like...
He's like, what?
The only kickers I'm thinking of is like the Domino's, like chicken kickers.
Oh, she always thinking of food. No, the kickers. So kickers is like... It was like a... Like, I don't know how to explain it. It almost looked like blazers, but it wasn't. Yeah, they were like trainers or shoes, should I say? And all the boys, when I was in secondary school, we used to wear them. And
Has it got white writing?
Nah, mine was all black. It was all black, and it had like a little like red kickers little like thing on the end, like so you can identify it was original kickers.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone always had it, so it became like almost like a trend where it got so big that everyone was wearing it that like the school thought like it was like a gang related thing.
Oh wow.
Like all the gang people were wearing it, so then they banned it in the school. So none of us were allowed to wear kickers at one point. So that was a bit peak, but yeah, if I had those trends, I'll bring the Tims back.
Tims as well, like,
and for our school trend, it would be kickers.
Everyone used to. I remember having Tims, and it was like a big thing that you had to keep the tag on. If you didn't keep the tag on, then it weren't like a thing.
Yeah.
And I would walk around, and I'd always feel like one foot was heavier than the other, and then you would just hear this like rattling like of the feet. Yeah, I remember getting my first pair of Tims, and unfortunately, I remember mine were a little bit too big. So I used to walk around like a builder in my Tims because I remember I tried to go a size down and they were too tight. So I was like, oh, I'll size up. And it was like the one regrettable purchase that I ever had. But I used to forcefully wear them because I was like, I will not be defeated.
Them ones. And you know, African parents, yeah, if you have bigger shoes, yeah, they just put tissue in there. They just put tissue in the bit so it makes up for the size that you don't have.
Yeah.
So when you're wearing it, it don't feel like
not
it's
even
big.
insoles.
You know it feels big and the foot looks long on your foot, but because you got the tissue there, it feels like it fits. There's no space.
Oh gosh. So what is the one thing that we would never guess about you?
Oh, I would say that I played for Chelsea, got scouted when I was 15?
Oh.
Yeah, funny story. The scout saw me when he was watching his daughter's rugby game at my school. So I played a school game where I think I scored like a hat trick or 2 goals. I think that was a hat trick that day. And then he spoke to my coach, which was my teacher at the time, for PE. And then he told him not to say anything, and he was going to come again and watch me and see if I was
spy.
Yeah, see if it's not like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
And then
I wanted to see if you were legit.
And then he came again, and then I think I scored like 2 goals and another one as well. And then he was like, yeah, like this guy looks legit. I remember him saying, my teacher saying to me like, after the lesson, he was like, Josh, I need to speak to you. And I was like, oh, what have I done now? What have I done now?
Were you a troublesome kid?
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you were used to going to the principal's office.
No. You know what? I think I was just quite creative. I think I was a very social person. I was quite creative. I like to think outside the box. I used to ask a lot of questions, but also, like, yeah, as I said, I'm very social. I was a nice guy. Like, sometimes people talk to me and I get in trouble.
So
but anyway,
there was a chance. There was a chance that you were getting in trouble, basically.
No, yeah, I was getting in trouble every now and then. But yeah, I did do the work that was needed to be done. But yeah. So after the lesson, he was like, "Oh, I need to speak to you." I was like, "Oh no," and then he sat me down. I was like, "Am I getting detention?" He was like, a scout came from Chelsea and they watched 2 of your games and they're really interested in what you've done for a talent ID day to see how you are, see if you can train with the academy guys. And I was so gassed.
I was about to say, like...
They sent me an official letter in the post and I was like, oh my days. I showed my brother and my mum was like, yeah. My brother was like, that's sick.
I bet you was walking around school like you was bulletproof. Like,
not really, you know.
Mr. Untouchable, like, do you know who I am?
Really. I try not to tell too many people and stuff. I was just like...
Just in case.
Yeah, I think I was just like focused. Like,
so humble.
I was just focused because I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, he's got running more often in the mornings. And I was just like focused to get it because my cousin was already playing for Chelsea at the time, Nana Fori. So he was already playing like in the reserves maybe at the time, or under 21s. So he was killing it. And I remember even asking him for some advice and he was like, just stay fit and just like, yeah, just show what you can do. And I think we played a few games, played against Reading, QPR, to start with. And that was really cool. We did a lot of academy training. I even had one of my boys, I even had Cyril. It's a really close friend to me. I call him my cousin basically as well. He was at the trial as well. We both played together and it was sick, man. No, it was that experience just leading up to it and everything was just amazing. So, yeah.
You used to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know, get to know.
Yeah, of course.
Tell us your unpopular opinion.
An unpopular opinion?
Yeah. So something maybe that you do that like people would be like, that's a bit off. Like for me, it's pineapple on pizza. I'm gonna have so many people like, oh, but yeah, that's mine.
I don't know. Unpopular opinion. What people think that they don't like? Not too sure. That's a really good question. Actually, I have to think now.
I'd say yours is you train every day. I think that would be an unpopular.
I was going to say that, but I was also going to say maybe like being a natty for how long I've been. I think I get asked a lot of questions like, oh, why are you still natty? Like, am I like? It almost like some people come up to me like, am I trying to prove something? I mean, I am trying to prove something, but not in the sense of like I'm against people who are assisted.
It's not like you think you're better than them because you're natural now.
Nah, I decided to do it this route, and I don't see why this route isn't like promoted more. You know, in the industry, like why can't you do it natural? Like,
well, you're stubborn, so that would be why.
Very true. They need to be stubborn people. They need to learn to be stubborn. But at the same time, like I don't see why not. I think that's a very unpopular opinion to like, especially being natural and as an IFBB Pro now as well. And I'm still going to continue like throughout my whole career. I'm not changing. That's just it. Like everyone close to me who knows I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm always gonna stay natural. So,
do you think there's eyes on you? Like, wait, now that you're IFBB Pro, that are waiting for you to announce that you're now assisted?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think there are some eyes on me to see like, see how did he do? Like, is he gonna do well? And then if he doesn't do well, is he gonna take? You know, there's a few natural people who have not done well. Then they've gone unassisted, you know, because they see IFBB Pro, like it's a different league. Like when you watch them, like the guys, they're elite, you know, they're the best of the best in the world. So I can understand why some people do, but for me, it's just a no. Like I'm just gonna work.
How do you feel with the pressure? Like, do you feel any pressure with that, being a natural athlete now that you've like obtained your IFBB Pro card? Like, are you worried at all? Like, how are you going to tackle it?
I've always been a bit worried, like, even in the amateur federations that I was doing, I was always like, like going into competitions knowing it's not tested or like whatever. It's hard because you're going against people that have like that assistance as well, but they're working just as hard as you as well. So you're like, am I going to bring something that, you know, that's going to be of that level, you know? So you have to really go deep inside and just really bring out your best and just feel confident in yourself. Like, you've worked this hard for this long, you know, that stage time is only that one time, you know? So you've really got to show what you've been working for and appreciate how hard you've been working and know that you have a chance of winning. You've really got to believe it. You can't go in there thinking, this person's on this or this person's on that. Like everyone else has their own, like, you know, different training or different way of getting to that point. So just think on your own what you've done and know that it's good enough, and you might just become first, second, third, you know, you might top place. So that's what I would say.
We love that. Well, we're all rooting for you. Come on. So, 2023, did you not want to give anyone else a chance?
That's not nice.
I'm joking.
No.
I mean, you dominated 2023. You did very well.
Some of the guys, I used to get some funny messages like, so Josh, are you competing in this federation? Like, please don't compete. Please don't come. I used to get that all the time. It's just like, here he goes again. Like when I turn up and he was like, here he is again, here to clean up. And I'm like, come on, boys. Like, it's not even that. I think I'm quite honoured and I'm quite humbled that people think like that and actually they see the hard work that I put in. 2023 was a really, really good year for me. I accomplished a lot of things I wanted to do. And I had the mindset that I was going to do it from the start. Like, I even, at one point in the gym, I recorded myself saying that I was gonna do it before I did it. I said I'm gonna do this, not to be like cocky or anything. I'm gonna do it. So then I hold myself accountable. Like, because if you made that video, it's on my phone and I watch it and I'm like, if you're not gonna put the work in, if you're not gonna be here working your ass off, it doesn't make the difference of me being there for 2-3 hours in the gym. It means, am I putting the work in? Am I actually engaging this muscle? Am I actually focused? Am I actually doing the cardio? Am I actually eating the right foods I need to be doing? You know, not going out when I don't need to be, like just doing certain things that will make me in a better position to win. Like, so I think that mindset that I had in 2023 was just like, it was like game on, like, let's go. No days off. No one's beating me. It was that type of mindset. And I was, I'm so grateful to be in a community where so many people are so nice. When you go to competitions, it's not like such a rivalry. It's actually quite a nice environment. Like, we all talk and we all support each other. Like, especially like some of the federations where there's like gyms and stuff when we train before we go on stage as well. Like in the gyms, like people help out each other. Like, we have little chats and jokes and stuff like that. And even just before going on stage, like, I don't know what people think, but it's like, for the boys, it's really nice. Like everyone's
each other
pumped.
up.
Yeah, it's like, let's go, boys. Like, it's really pumped. Like, there's so much energy. There's so much like joy in that. Like, so it's like, whatever happens. Like, you've done the work now. Like, let's go.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah,
embrace
it. It's a really nice. And when we come off as well, everyone always congratulates whoever. Like, especially who comes first place. I didn't come first place the whole time in 2023. So like, I congratulated. Was it Fildo? You know, so it was like. Whatever happens, and sometimes you don't win, sometimes you do win.
It's having that respect for your fellow
that sportsmanship as well. Yeah. So it's nice to be in that environment, like especially in bodybuilding, you know. In some sports you don't really get that, so it's nice to have that.
I feel like men are a lot better at it as well. Like, one thing that I did notice that I loved is you know, because I will gas you up because you don't do it yourself, is that when going to like your competitions, you would even have some of, not even just competitors, but like coaches, like be like, "Oh, you're here to collect today then?"
Yeah.
And you know, I think considering that you've been bodybuilding for quite some time now, it's nice for people to appreciate and show that level of respect for someone like that's I guess, worthy of it. Not saying that everybody is, but they respect the grind and the graft, and they can see how much work that you've put in. So what does that feel like where you have coaches come up to you and actually they've got people there on the day competing against you, but they're still showing you that support?
It's as I said, it's I'm very honored and humbled by it. It just kind of, to me, it shows the hard work that I've put in, and they see it. Like, they see the grind over the years that I've had to put in, and to have somebody like of their level coaching such great athletes as well come to me and be like, oh, like, well done, or like, you come in to take it today, or you're like, are you ready today? Like, they look at me like they can see the fire in my eyes. I really do feel like appreciative, like humbled, and I'm always like thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it because people see that, and there's times where you're in the gym, you're by yourself, doing your cardio, you're working so hard, so grinding so hard in the dark for so long for that one day, and it means so much to every athlete. So I don't know how to express it any further, but it's just the passion, the dedication, and sometimes making it look easy comes into it.
I think at the end of the day, everybody's there to win, right? So, we're all there for gold, and I still think it's nice though that within that we can show each other a bit of respect, because as you say, like, everyone's been working hard, everyone's been doing the prep, everyone's starving, like gasping for water.
A lot of people say that. I don't think it's starving.
You don't think it's starving?
No, I don't think it's starving.
So you're not hungry
for a period of time. You know what starving is? Starving is like completely not. Like, it's different.
True.
If you're starving, you're not eating. You're not eating.
Yeah, no. I hear you.
People are starving in the world. Like, I get it. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard. There's people starving in the world. They don't have anything.
I guess in like a deficit.
You're in a deficit. You're being restricted. By what you're used to. Yeah, you ain't. I'm sorry to burst your bubbles, guys, but you're not starving. Like, I've gone to crazy deficits. I'm never gonna say I'm starving.
And you're still probably eating more in your deficit than the average person would be eating.
Sometimes.
Because some people only eat like 1 meal a day. Sometimes. It depends what prep it is.
Exactly. Sometimes.
So, like, going back to showmanship, I kind of want to touch on the fact and speak about your relationship with Ike and how that started, because you've always competed against each other, but when you first started your bodybuilding career, he was kind of the person that you aspired to be like, if you will, or he was one of those where you saw him at a show and was like, oh wow, he looks good. And now you both rock up to shows, and it's what was it last year? Clash of the Titans. You and now Tamas is against those is coming into the midst as well. But yeah, let's start from your bodybuilding journey and kind of like what was your first show like, and then obviously like meeting Ike, and talk about that relationship.
Okay, so my first show was with UK Up, great federation, great people. Wes and Glenn are doing a great job, fantastic. Because
we love them.
Because when you go into competing with them, they really do take care of you. They make sure you understand exactly what it's going to be like, and when you're on the day, like instructions and you have a meeting beforehand, so you really understand what's going to happen on the day. Like, they even go through some of the poses again, just to like refresh people's minds, make sure if there's anything like you're unsure of, you can ask questions. And I think that's like a great like aspect. So if you're definitely starting out in bodybuilding, I would recommend federation like that, because you can really learn a lot from all your hard work. You want to feel a little bit more comfortable, because it's so nerve-wracking, should I say, on the day.
They are really lovely.
You got to think of so many things. So having like a federation like that really take care of the athletes is mega. So I would definitely recommend that. But anyway, on my first competition, I came fourth. Mm-hmm. I was so upset. I'm a sore loser. I'm a sore loser in the fact that I don't like to lose, but I'm a sore loser that I can respect who came first. I took a picture with the guy who came first, and I was so happy to meet him. I don't know his name. Sorry, I forgot his name. The guy looks really good. And he deserved
it
to
was
win.
to give you, this was quite some time ago now, so we will forgive you.
He deserved to win. But one of the reasons I think back in my mind, the reason why I took that picture is so I could beat his look.
Right.
Like I took it because I was like,
That's what you need to work
I want to
towards.
see. Yeah, I want to see what they see, why they gave it to him, and if I can beat it. Because if I beat that, then I can come first.
That's a good mindset.
So it was like always a positive. Like it was never really a negative. I feel like great athletes do have that sense of like you have. I mean, I would never compete to come fifth. Like I would compete to always come first. I think everyone competes to do well. So I think that mindset that I have really pushes me. So it was the second year of competing, and I'd done the UK Up. It was a British finals, and I remember it was in like a town hall theatre place. It was the first time I think I'd been in like a much bigger like arena, should I say, with like like makeup room type thing, the lights and mirrors and stuff like you can really see yourself when you're changing and stuff like that. And then I remember seeing Ike walk in, and I was like, oh my days. So this is the levels at the finals, yeah. And I was like, I looked at myself and I was like, I look so small. I think I did really well in that prep. I was really conditioned. I learned a lot for myself, and I was working on my abs as much as I could, and trying to bring up my shoulders. I was trying to work on my lats. I had no lats at that point, so I was really trying to work on it. But I remember him walking through, and I was like, he can't be in men's physique. He must be classic. He can't be in men's physique. But he wasn't that big. He was just like, I was just trying to say in my head like, it's not that bad. It'll be all right. Them ones. But yeah, I came to the competition. Obviously, I found out he was in men's physique. There was a really good guy. There was another big guy actually on the day as well. He was massive. He was big. There was a white guy. He was so big. I was like, I thought he was a bodybuilder as well. And they were all in men's physique. I was like, what's going on? I don't know. I think I placed 5th or 4th in that one as well. 4th. I placed 4th in that one again. And then we took a picture after the show as well that I still have on my phone. I think I went on Instagram as well.
About to try find it.
Yeah. It was 3 of us. I think me, Evan, and Ike. I think Evan came 3rd on that day. And Ike just looked so sick. Like, you see everything was a shred. And then I did the same thing. I looked at his physique and I was like, if I beat that, I might be in first place one day. So I kind of took it because not only did we become best friends, because I asked him so many questions after the show. I was like, so like, how do you train? Like what do you do? How long have you been training for? And he'd been training for and he'd been competing for 6 years or something like that. And I had only just started. So he was like, you got a great physique. He was very passionate about the sport, but very motivating to everybody. Like he was such a nice guy. Like honestly, like you become friends with him in the second like that. Like he's that type of guy.
He's really personable.
Yeah, and he very people person. He connects with you, and he's very honest. Like he wants everyone to do well, and himself, he's been able to do that because of I feel that positivity that just bursts out of him and his energy. He's been able to work so hard and get to where he is now, and he's accomplished the most.
I just love as well how much that he was willing to share with you. And what I do like about the bodybuilding industry is I feel that people are willing to give out information. There's not a lot of competitive sports where I feel especially in bodybuilder, most bodybuilders are friends with bodybuilders,
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice that they can do that. They can motivate each other, give each other tips in terms of what they do, and they're actually happy to share that information. I mean, sometimes everyone's got their own secrets, I guess, in what they do.
Yeah.
But I think when for people of your guys caliber, if you see someone who you feel has the potential to do well, you want to help them do well.
Yeah.
And then as well, if when you're winning, you want to win against the best. So, you don't want an easy win. There's no satisfaction in that. Especially when, it's unfortunate in some categories, people turn up on the day and they're the only person in the category. And then obviously they win. It's not as fulfilling when that happens. And I'm not saying, I'm not discrediting those people, but you know, inside you're just a bit like, no, I wanted to really show off like what I have. I want, you know. So
it's a competitive sport, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You want to be able to compete. Like the whole thing is to compete. You have to have somebody to compete with. So obviously, there's been shows. Obviously, not discrediting anyone, but sometimes there's shows where there's only been like one person in a category, and then they've won, and it's like I can imagine you feeling like very sad that you've had to work so hard. Even though you've done well, you've achieved like a great physique for yourself, and that's an achievement in itself, and you should be grateful and really happy that you've done that. But at the same time, you've done it for a reason, to compete, to almost compare how good you've done it,
so that you can say,
so you
I am
can
the
really
best.
feel like, yeah, I really did work hard. Like that really does prove it.
You don't want to go through all that. Like, it's a long process, and it's like, it's a lot of graft and grind. So, you know, you want to get the best out of the situation. So yeah, I love that you both see the positive in building each other up. And like, if you look at videos or footage, like there's always like pictures of you guys, like no matter, you know, who wins or who doesn't, you're always like fist bumping, giving each other a hug, like congratulating each other, and there's no bitterness with it. And you know, and you can kind of both look at it like, oh yeah, you deserve to win that day. Yeah. You know, like really recognizing that, and then taking whatever the outcome may be to work on your own improvements. Yeah. We love it. So I would say, no, it's nice that you guys are able to, I guess, set an example as well, especially to the future generation of bodybuilders, that it isn't just always, as much as we're all there to do a job, you know, it's not just about you. Everyone's worked hard. So let's support one another, because, you know, some people's preps are worse than others as well. So even just a friendly hug on the day will be like, no, do you know what, you got this, is like, it's just validation and recognition as to what they need.
I taught myself is like, you don't lose, you just learn. This is the wrong L. You're using the wrong L. Don't use that word, losing. You don't lose, you're just learning. Like, there's a learning curve for you, right? You didn't come first, you didn't come second, you know, right? You're learning. Get better next time. That's it. Come back there next time and keep trying. But you have to work. You have to work. You have to know that you did your all. People know when they haven't done their all, and they compete, and then they're like, oh, make you feel worse. Put in your all, and you'll get there.
The idea is you want to be able to step on stage and say you did everything you could. And like, I think the worst thing is walking away being like, I could have done better in terms of your prep. As long as you tick every single box, whatever the outcome may be that day is the outcome that you deserve. And then you can work with that, because then, you know, like you can look back at the prep and be like, okay, I did this right, I did this wrong, I need to work on this. But, you know, if you've not done your steps, or if you've like cheated a little bit, that's going to mess with your head. And I think that's the worst thing as well, is being able to walk away and be like, I shouldn't have ate that bagel.
Hello.
So let's take it back. Were you always into sports?
Yes. I've been into I had to think about that.
I know. Slight turn. I know.
No, I've always been into sport ever since I was little. I loved football, obviously. Most boys do, but both my older brothers were into football at the time, and we used to go play football in the park with my dad all the time. And my brothers were quite good, and obviously I was quite young, and I was learning, and I wanted to be as good as them. You know when you look up to your brothers and you want to be like really good and like always impress them, so they're like, oh.
I was like that with my sister.
I was trying to do that and be my best, and then I think from that's when my love of football came. So I was always into sport from young. Funny story, just quickly go off. Obviously, I don't know, I think was I like 8 maybe? And I remember my brother was like, oh, so who do you support? Like, it came out random. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, who do you support? I was like, in football. They were like, yeah. I was like, David Beckham. And I was like, because I didn't know that it was like a thing where you had to support a team. So I was thinking, like, you just support something. And they were like, no, you have to support like a team. And I was like, a team. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that so much about football.
You just supported David Beckham.
So I was like, oh, well, whatever teams David Beckham plays for, then I support. So technically I was really young. I was like a Man United fan. But yeah, not anymore. I'm a Chelsea fan. But
That's
yeah,
really
at the start, I was like David Beckham, and they were like, you can't support a player, you got to support a team. And then they kind of gave me like a little spin off. My dad gave me a little spin off on that. I was like, obviously, you can't support a player. You can like a player, you can't support a player. You support a team because it's the team together that make, the progress to score goals and to do all these magnificent things that they do. And I was like, oh,
David couldn't be David about the team.
He's the best player, isn't it? Like, that's how I thought. I was like, he's the best player. Like, he bends. Like, you can't do that, But nah,
like
yeah. So sorry to go off, but
yeah. So yeah, you were always in the sports.
Yeah.
So you're known as Mr. No Days Off.
I am.
Where did that come from?
That is me. Mr. No Days Off came from actually one of my friends from secondary school. We had a group chat at one point. The boys had a group chat that was called Mr. Men. And everybody, we named each other like Mr. something. So I remember one of my boys, Joel, he was called Mr. Composure.
Wow.
Like Mr. Dependent. There was all different Misters in it. Misters.
You were like the male Destiny's Child almost, or like male Spice Girls. That's all.
We're all Misters in it. I ain't gonna tell you what my Misters is. I don't remember. But we're all
what
Misters.
Mr. were you?
I don't remember.
The people you don't know.
I think I was Mr. Confident. I don't know. I was Mr. Satin.
Mr. Sweet Boy.
So, wow. Sweet boy.
Do you remember that at the school?
Yeah.
He's a sweet boy.
Yeah, sweet boy.
I can see he was one of those.
No, so so we're all Mr. Men in a way, and then obviously I went to uni. I started doing like a lot of gym and football and all different stuff. And I remember we still had like a group chat, like a friendly group chat. And one person, they said in the group chat, they were like, "Oh, you're like Josh, you're like Mr. No Days Off," and I was like,
"Love that."
Yeah, I am Mr. No Days Off. And I was like, claimed. That's me. Like that. And do you know what? Like, as soon as it was like said in the group, like, you're basically like a No Days, like a Mr. No Days Off. I was like, yeah, like I live it and I like preach it. Like I was teaching them and showing them like how my life was and how the gym can work with their lifestyle and just being fit and just doing anything actually that you're really passionate about, but like thinking of it like a mindset, like No Days Off, like. And I really had that from young, from like 2015. I had that mindset, and that's where the name actually came about, through that group chat. And then I claimed it, and I was like, from now on, you guys know me as Mr. No Days Off, and they loved it, and they were like, yeah, like you actually are. You're basically doing it.
I love that they were there, like, yeah, like getting, like getting
you
gas
actually
right.
are. So it was like. Yeah, so Mr. No Days Off kind of stuck, and then I just like broadcasted it more, and everyone kind of like accepted it.
We love that. So where was the light bulb moment where you was like, yeah, I want to be a bodybuilder?
A bodybuilder?
Bodybuilder, yep, that's the one.
The light bulb moment. I don't know if there was an actual light bulb moment. I feel like when I had that first competition that I spoke about when I came fourth, that fire in me, like I'm quite a competitive person. So in football, I've always been quite competitive. It was kind of drilled into us when we was playing for Chelsea, and the advice they gave us, like psychologically thinking like first place is what you always want to hit. You always want to be a winner. Coming fourth was like, what could you have done better straight away, and can you get there? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong and I'll get there. And I think maybe after the show, when I did the British finals in London, this was maybe 4 years in, or 3 years in, my whole family came to watch me. So it was the first time my dad would have watched me compete in any sport. And I was like... that was like a big moment for me, because none of my parents have really come watch me for any of my sports, really. When I used to play football and stuff like that, it was always like other parents saying, "Oh, go on, Josh." My parents, they were always working, they were always so busy, and, it wasn't like, to them, a priority at the time, but I respect the fact that they were looking after us and working so hard on their grind to make sure that we could live a good life in a way, like we had food, all of that. So
do you feel maybe they also... I feel like with sport, some parents don't understand it as much.
yeah, I feel like to them it was like, my mum always used to say like, is football gonna like put money on the table, like food on the table? I was like, yeah, it is. The
Eventually.
we're getting paid. I was like, yeah, it is. But she was like, she was very religious as well. She didn't want me to lose track of, the sight of God in this, and she didn't want me to lose track of being humble and it's not to say like sports people are like that, but she just didn't want that. And obviously in her background, it wasn't the route that she wanted her children to take. She wanted us to have a job, earn good money and use our brains instead of our physical
lawyer.
Use our brains instead of our physical body to have to earn money. She said, like, when you get old, what are you gonna do? Like, when you're past 30, 40, what are you gonna do? And I remember one time she said that if you break your leg, and I was like, oh, don't ever say that to me.
Don't put that in the universe.
How would you ever say that? Break my leg. Like, why would you ever say that? That's so rude, mum. And she was like, but it's true, people do. And what are you going to do when that happens? Like, some people have done that, their career's gone, and then you have no money. Like, so she wanted me to use my brain, go to uni, get a job where I didn't have to. So, I mean, that was her thing.
I think most parents are like that, though. But anyway, so your dad, it was a big thing that he was there.
So, a big thing that my dad was there. And then, my brothers, my sisters were there as well. So, that was really nice. And I won it. I won the British finals, the first time I won a British finals, and I had the trophy, and I was like, I'm good at this. I'm really good. I put the work in, and I was like, I think I can do this. I was like, it was hard, but I feel like I can do this. I feel like this is where I'm meant to be. This is the path I'm meant to take. Like, I was like, this is a God moment. Like, he's speaking to me. This is what I'm meant to do for the rest of my life. So I was like, I'm gonna see where it can take me, and I'm gonna work hard. And my family was so proud of me. And I think maybe that as well, them being there and like congratulating me and being so happy that I won. And I think like that pushed me to give that light bulb effect, if you want to call it, to keep going and know that bodybuilding was going to stick with me.
And it's interesting as well because you don't have a coach,
No,
but you do have a mentor.
my sensei.
Yeah, your sensei.
Yeah.
So Raph. Yes, we big up Raph. We love Raph, and yeah, tell us a bit about that. So obviously he kind of introduced you to bodybuilding, and I kind of want to deep dive into a bit as well about how did you take the lessons from your sensei and evolve it so that you ended up coaching yourself. I mean, I know that from time to time you still have conversations with him, and he still has involvement in terms of giving you advice, but you very much adapted your own, I guess, structures and plans, and you are now who you are. Yeah.
So, truth to be told, Raph actually was the one who got me into bodybuilding. So when I was in university, I was playing, obviously, for university football. The season's really short, not many teams. So half the year, I'm not really doing much. I was like, I can't get fat and sit on my bum, not doing anything. I have to go to the gym, stay fit for football. Started going to the gym. That's when I met Raph. He came up to me one day when I was in there, because I was in there quite often. I was going there quite often because I had time in my hands.
Mr. No Days Off.
Exactly. Didn't know it yet, Dad. And he was basically like, he came up to me, he was like, do you compete? And I was like, what's that? Like, bodybuilding. I was like, no. It's like, I look at myself thinking, I'm a skinny footballer. You're on about. And he was like, yeah, you should compete. He's got a friend who's doing like a competition, which is UK Up. He's got a friend who knows that they have a competition. You should try it. It's really good. He showed me some of the like videos of like bodybuilders, what they were doing. I was like, ain't no way, man, get up in these shorts. No way, ain't no way. Barefoot and that, ain't no way.
Your mum cussing you.
Ain't no way. And I was laughing. I was like, nah, I don't think I'll be doing that. But thank you, I appreciate the compliment. And I was like, yeah. And then after a few weeks, he started seeing me like how consistent I was going to the gym. And then sometimes he'll come and like be like, are you doing biceps? And he was like, try this. And he was like, try that. And then obviously we found out that we were both Ghanaian. So that helped as well. GH Power, that helped.
Is that like your big brother?
Yeah. So
Not
then
that you need
we started training together all the time, and then he persuaded me to compete, and then obviously that's when I did my first competition. So yeah, Raph was, as I said he's the sensei because he gave me a lot of tips. He gave me a lot of advice, and he more or less told me his background because he did bodybuilding as well. He did men's physique, he did classic physique, and he won like major titles. So he had all that knowledge of the old school life about like water deficit, food, what right foods to eat, all those things, and I've just stuck by them ever since. He always claims that he's never coached me. He's like, Josh, I've never coached you. He's like, we never give a structure. We never like, I just told you a few things and you went and did your own thing.
Just chats in the gym and stuff like.
Yeah, he's like, you went and did your own thing, and I'm always like, no, man. I was like, you're my man. Like, you're a sensei. And he's like, no. He's like, Josh, like, let's be real. Like, I told you only just like the basics of what bodybuilding is, and then you went and did all this,
But you would always say he was a significant part.
He was a significant part, especially in my posing, I would say. Like, I learned majority of my posing from him. I just added my own flair to it and my own style, and I've changed quite a bit of it now. But at the start, he was my main figure for posing. Like, I used to go to the gym and I'd be like, oh, can you just check my posing? Because I want to make sure that I'm like perfect for the next show. And then we'll go through it. He'll turn me around and I'll be sweating. Boy, he would make me hold the poses for so long.
Yeah.
So long. Oh, my days. And he would like adjust me and then be like, right, do it again. And I'll just do it again. Do it again.
So now I know where that comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm like that too. Like, and then I started being like that, and I was like, oh no, I'll do that again. And then he was like, it's fine. No, I need to do it again. and then it's like we had the same wavelength mentality and understanding of the sport, and we loved it. And when we got it right, we were gassed. We were so happy. And every year he was like, Josh, you just keep improving every year. It's like you're putting in the work. And it shows.
It's just so nice, like, you've got such a good support network, and and like, not that I feel that you need other people to give you the energy and the motivation. You kind of like, you're able to do it yourself. I feel like you're one of the few, like, I don't want to call it psychotic, that's not quite the word, but like, most people have down days, whereas you just easily pick yourself up.
Yeah.
It's quite crazy. Like, I feel if everyone was to disappear in your life, you would still be able to like keep the same momentum up. And not many people can say that. But as a first timer, so for people who maybe looking to their first show, what would you say that you struggled with the most?
What I struggled with the most was, at first it was my diet. Because I was in university. So I started competing when I was in university. And obviously, you can imagine everyone's going out, partying all the time. I was able to go out, but not drink. I didn't taste a alcoholic beverage till I was 19. So yeah.
Christian boy.
It was more myself. Like, I was football as well, and I just didn't want to do it. So it was just more like, it wasn't just like religious. It was more like I just didn't see the point in it. Like, I used to see people and I'm like, you're getting drunk and I play football. This
is a good lesson for the children.
I was like, I don't see the benefit of it. I was like, I'd rather just be fit, healthy, and aware of what I'm doing, basically. Anyway, so yeah. What was I saying?
What did you struggle with most?
Yeah, so...
Sorry, that was my bad.
I went way off. So... yeah, the diet was the main thing. Because I was in university, being able to pay for chicken all the time and all the things you needed to pay for was a little bit difficult at that time. So my diet wasn't always the best. I had to get some frozen food, some like breaded chicken.
I'm going to say, do you have any hacks for that?
Iceland. I think you have to know like where to shop. I think I had like a co-op next to me, and I had like a Sainsbury's, and they're kind of expensive.
They're robbing you.
Go to like Aldi and Lidl, and like you have to find a niche like where like the prices are affordable. Where I was living at the time, and I wasn't driving then at that time as well. So it was like I wanted to go where places were close to.
Convenient.
To me. So I think that was a big thing. So keeping your diet on point
was the hard. Yeah.
Do that. Like, that's the hardest, but you can do it. Like, and prep. I think after the first year when I competed, I knew that prep was so important. Like, coming back home and being snackish, problem. prep. So I fixed that straight away. In my first year, I fixed that. And I was like, no, I'm going to make sure there's always food ready. I'm prepped.
That's the worst.
3 days, whatever, 3 days, like always prep.
Yeah.
Because that will help you stay on track. And then after that, my food was good. I was able to stay on track. And then when I found a cheaper place to buy my food, I was good. I used to go to the Tesco near the Pro gym after the gym. And I used to buy from there. It was a massive store. So it was a lot cheaper, like Superstore. So that helped me a lot. So my diet was sorted in like the first 2 years. And then I was struggling with sometimes training because Raph wasn't always there. And I used to also like to train with him because he was like
the man.
Sensei.
Yeah.
So sometimes he wasn't there. And then I didn't know I had to push myself more. Like I was doing everything to the T, but I needed to know to push myself more because you need to improve. Even at 1% better, you need to do it.
Do you think that's more of like a mental barrier though that most people have in the gym? Is like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's maybe you struggled with the training, but it was maybe struggling with when you're training with someone, they're like, give me one more rep, come on, like let's do it. Or nah, you didn't, like you always say to me, you cheated that rep, do it again. Like that's what you say. You're always like, cheated that rep. That's
cheater.
That's not a full rep. Like do it again. So it's kind of having that accountability, you know, for yourself. It's like if you say, oh, I'm gonna do 12 sets here. If you 12 reps, sorry. If you reach like the 12th rep and you still got more in you, it's when you're by yourself, it's like, no, let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's having momentum.
Yeah. I feel like more so like lifting more weight for me in men's physique. I think lifting more weight sometimes I didn't do. But in terms of the motivation, when he wasn't there, I was grinding.
You are Mr. Motivation.
When he was there, I was grinding even harder because at that time, obviously, he's a lot bigger and he was lifting more weights than me. So I was like, my aim was like, I saw myself as a student. And when I walked around in the gym, people would say hello to him. And because he had so much respect in the gym, I was like,
I want that.
I'm his student, so I need to look the part. I need to look like the reason why I'm following him because I do what he does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm his student. You know, like Bruce Lee.
You're like a representation of
Bruce
him.
Lee, and he has his students, you know, and they're like all like crazy fighters because Sensei. You know what I mean? That's how I had to present it. So when he was doing heavyweights, I was pushing to get to those heavyweights. You know, when he was doing these like crazy supersets, I was pushing to do those supersets.
Would you say the students become the master? Oh,
I think that give me a few more years. I think that I will still be the student because I've got so much to prove yet.
Yeah.
As he's always said, like, Josh, you're in the beginning. You're just starting. You've got your IFBB. You've only just started.
He keeps you humble. It's like he was saying, wasn't he? It's like the hard work, like it starts now.
Starts now.
Basically. Like you've worked hard, but the hard work starts now. You've even got to work harder. It's like
even harder.
I think you said to me, like you've now basically got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is a great mentality to have. And I think that's why you're very successful, because I feel like a lot of, you know, athletes can get quite cocky when they have their win. But, you know, everyone always says you never know who's going to show up on the day. So you've got to constantly work hard.
Exactly.
What would you say your biggest fail is and the lesson that you learned from it?
My biggest fail in bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Okay. My biggest fail. So the posing was probably one of my biggest fails, because in my first 3 years, I think I struggled to get it on point. What Raph did for me at one of the competitions that really boosted it, and that's why I won the British Finals, I think, was he got one of the judges to actually give me feedback. So I think that's a massive thing, to get feedback from judges or your coach and really take it seriously.
Raphael will tell you how to speak for you.
Yay! Hold on. So, I am the boss. It's just I hate this light. Just focus on your abs. Don't get any bigger. Don't be disappointed. Your category was very hard. Don't get any bigger. Focus on your abs. Condition can get a little bit better. But also stage presence. Always remember, people are paying to watch you. As Raphael said, be cocky when you step on stage. The stage is yours and yours only, so just do your best, just to shine. Those are the only 3 things you need to work on. Don't be sad about it. Don't be sad. That category was very hard, but you have learned with it and just get better for next time. I'm watching you.
and work on it. She came down and she was like, you looked really good. Like, you had the physique, you had the abs, you had but she was like, your posing was like good, but the other guys who came first, second, they looked more confident than you. They had that, like, you know, that confidence. I don't know how to explain.
I'm the man.
You know, yeah,
Attitude.
This is mine. Like, I own this stage. You know, that type of thing. You have to have that confidence in bodybuilding, where like the people relate to you, that they feel that passion, that you belong here. You know,
It's almost like that is also a little bit of intimidation as well, isn't it? Like when you step onto stage, you're like, I'm here. This is my stage.
yeah. So she said that when she came down, and I took it to heart. That day I took it to heart. I was just like,
You're such a sore loser.
I was like, oh, gosh, there's something else I'm doing wrong. Oh, I was like,
That sounds like me.
And I went back and I went back home. Raph was just like trying to tell me, he recorded it so I could watch it.
Do you still have it?
I still have it on my phone.
The proportions, all of them had it.
Yeah.
But they had the abs. They just were cocky on the stage. And those little things is what are going to take you from first place to last.
Yeah.
Because there's a number of things that we need to take into account. It's not just how much muscle mass you have. Otherwise, any massive bodybuilder would come here, take first place. It's not.
And I watched it and I watched it and I watched it and I watched it. And every time I watched that, I think I got angry at her more.
Oh my gosh.
more. But then I realized that she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
When I watched other guys, especially the professionals like Ryan Terry, you know, and I saw the way they posed and the way they were on stage and the way they smile. It's not that they were smiling on stage. They believed what they were doing is a first place presentation. Mm-hmm. You can see it in them. Like, they look at you and they're like, boom, like, I deserve to be here. Do you know what I mean? It's like that confidence. And I was like, right, that's what I've been lacking. Because I've gone into this bodybuilding world and I've tried to win something by just working hard, but not actually believing
You're too humble.
I deserve to be here. So I had to really work on that. And I'll say that's probably one of the biggest fails that I had, that really dragged on for those years. And that's probably why.
Love that. So the lesson is everyone to start posing as soon as possible, I guess, as well.
Yeah,
And
pose with the best.
Don't neglect it.
Yeah, learn from the best.
So yeah, we've touched on obviously how you've basically become Mr. No Days Off.
Yeah.
So we're here on the No Days Off podcast. Let's talk about a bit about the brand. So why did you want to start a clothing brand?
Why did I start No Days Off? I started No Days Off because I wanted to have a brand that I could wear, that I really believed in and represented me and a lot of other people that I know. I feel like there was a gap in industry, if I was to say, that doesn't proclaim our side, maybe like bodybuilding, like people who really work hard, people who, you know, have that go get it, no matter what.
The mindset.
The mindset, the consistency type. You know, it doesn't have to be a sport. It could be like anything, you know. Entrepreneur, you know. It could be...
the best wife. Best mother.
If you think that, yeah, anything, you know. That no days off mentality to wear something and really just believe that you really do grind. You really do put the work in. And I want to wear this with pride and feel like I'm a no days off type of person. But also to be able to create active wear and casual wear that feels really good. You know, there's a lot of like brands out there that sometimes you wear and they're so known, but like the material and the clothing's not that great sometimes. You're just like, what's going on? Like, it's meant to be like a, you know, high brand. And I want to just really focus on getting clothing that really feels good, really feels soft, you know, when it needs to be, you know, feels active and stretchy when it needs to be, especially for like the girls or for the guys when they're training or moving about, or, you know, or if you're like, you're going to the shop and you want to put like something that's nice and warm, like a hoodie, you don't want to like wear a coat.
It's versatile as well.
You know, yeah, you want to be able to have all that different type of range, you know.
Sportswear is becoming like casual wear now as well. So, you know, you need it so that you can run to the gym and then run to Tesco's and be like... and still look good in it as well.
Exactly.
Like girls especially, you know, they're wearing it when they're not actually going to the gym. So you need that contrast. I think the brand does that really well. Also, if you would like to buy any No Days Off items, please go to please go to the No Days Off website, and you can use Courtney20 at checkout for 20% off. Woo! Woo! But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Love that, by the way.
Yeah. You know, got a plug.
Of course. But yeah, No Days Off is it screams that, you know, when I made it and I looked at the name, I was like, No Days Off. I was like, yeah, that feels so good to even just say, even just to be around, to have to be able to wear it. That's like powerful for me. It's like a power move.
And it's a sense of community as well. You know, you're creating products for I guess, without trying to eliminate people, but for a certain type of person. And, you know, I think it's great that a lot of gym brands are trying to be all inclusive. You know, we do want to be all inclusive.
Yeah.
However, you know, you want to provide to the best of the best, and as you say, it's not just sport, it's encouraging people and motivating people to be the best versions of themselves. And I think an element of that is also looking good. When you look good, you feel good, and you want to do great things. You know, you're not going to turn up to a business meeting looking ratty. as an example.
Great terminology.
No, you're just not. You're not
ratty.
You're not just going to roll out of bed looking like a troll to a business meeting. You turn up to the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So you should wake up every day trying to be the best version of yourself. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you're going to start selling suits as an example, but it's just, you know, when you put on your clothing, it should be like it should be like your armor, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so with, I think, having the strapline of No Days Off, you know, you got these amazing people just making what they do look so easy.
Yeah. Make it look easy.
So I did that. I love the concept as to what you're trying to bring in the sense of the community with the brand as well.
Being 1% better. Like if you can achieve that 1% better every day, you know, how can I change and like be better or just stay consistent? You know, that's what No Days Off like really proclaims. And as you said, the community is a massive thing for me. I think we have a lot of plans for this year in the brand. Not only just to provide the clothing and accessories, but to be a part of the community and support athletes as well and support people. And, you know, we're going to be even working with a charity this year. And we want to proclaim this name so we can actually have more of an insight into what people do. And as myself being on this show, to be able to proclaim like what it's like being somebody who is a No Days Off advocate.
Sorry, I got slightly distracted there because the
smoothing of my voice.
The smoothing of your voice. No, the hunger is just honestly, I'm like, I get so hangry as well.
You get a snack after.
I really need a snack. So what can we expect to see from No Days Off going forward?
For No Days Off this year, we have some new collections coming out soon for the girls, especially, and some for the guys. So look out for some new summer colors, and you know, soon to be spring as well. We also have some events that we'll be doing this year as well. So stay tuned. People who have No Days Off wear, you'll be able to get in free for the subscribed as well. People who are subscribed, you'll be able to know all the details in the newsletters. So events, sports days, which is going to be really cool. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun. We've got some cool things planned. We also have, as I said, we're doing podcasting as well. So our lovely host, Courtney, smashing it.
Doing great.
So we'll be having a lot more of like people on here as well. And hopefully they can be able to explain their No Days Off life, like kind of how I'm doing today, which is really cool. I think it's really fun. And we also have ideas for, what else do we have? What I mentioned before?
We're doing socials. That's kind of the obvious.
I think that's about it for now.
Yeah, for this year.
For this year, but yeah, I think there's some really cool stuff that we want to be a part of and just get voices out that haven't been heard, really.
I love that. Yeah, giving the platform.
Yeah.
And, you know, just spreading a bit of positivity. And I think as well, I was going to say the thought just came back. The thought just came back to my head. Is it's an element kind of self-love as well. I think that's something that I kind of want to promote using this platform, is to say yes to you.
Yeah.
You know, I think the analogy that I always use, is that if your boss was to call you at 11 p.m. and say, I need you at work for 5:30 tomorrow morning, if not, you're fired. Are you going to tell them no? You're not. You're going to get up, no matter how painful it is, and you're going to get to work because you're required to be there. So why aren't people doing that for themselves? Like, a lot of people set their alarm and they'll be like, I'm going to go for a run tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm going to change my... starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my life. New year, new me. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
They set their alarm for 5 a.m. to go for a run before work. The alarm goes off. Snooze. 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 Before you know it, it's 7. I've got to go work. They don't say yes to themselves. They don't put themselves first. Like, even with mums, with their kids, they'll put their kids before them. They'll put their husband before them. It's fantastic. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But then they neglect themselves. Then how are you supposed to show up for everybody else? They get drained. They deteriorate.
Yeah.
And then they look back at their life and they're like, what have I done? But it's because they haven't given them a moment to themselves to put them first. For me, like, no days off is always like thinking about you. It's making that time for you so that you can be the best, so that then you can help those around you also be the best versions of themselves too.
Yeah, I think no days off gives you that as I said, that's that mindset that I can do anything I put my mind to. Really believing in yourself, as you said, self-love, and knowing that you can do more. Like, as you said about the mothers and children, you know, they must go through a lot having a child or children, you know. So
an army.
Having that time to themselves, sometimes they just want to sit back and chill and relax, you know.
And it's hard for them as well. Like, we're not saying it's easy.
You know, so, but wearing no days off, hopefully this brand will give you that power, that little magic, that little, like, let me do 30 minutes of a HIIT training session, or let me spend 30 minutes on my business, my focus, or my time, you know, and do something productive with yourself. It doesn't have to be like sport related. It could be like, you know, you want to work on something that you've always wanted to do, you know.
And you've got to make time as well.
You make time for it, you know, and you know days off because you are no days off. Like, if people actually deep it, like, you are a human that as soon as you wake up, it's non-stop. You're having to do things the whole day till you go to sleep. You are no days off. Your life is no days off. Just give yourself some structure and really do things that you actually enjoy. Have time for things that you actually enjoy, you're passionate for as well. And make sure you do it. Hold yourself accountable. And then also do all the things that are necessary, you know. I think hopefully we can help people to do that, you know, feel positive about it, you know, and just go get it. Just be about it. You know, don't let excuses get you. Be about it.
As RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Ooh,
so
perfect.
We love.
I like that.
So on the dark days, then, let's not say dark days. That's a bit extreme. So on the days where you're maybe not feeling as motivated, what advice would you give to someone to get up and go?
On the dark days, know that the next days, the good days, you would wish that you had done something on the dark days. So you don't want to have any regrets. Don't have any regrets in life. Know that today's not the best day, but if you do it, tomorrow you'll be happy you did it. And I feel like if you can have that type of mindset, there won't be any dark days or bad days, you know, because what is a bad day? You know, we're always learning. We're not perfect. We try to be, but there's always going to be something that might not go the way you want it, and that's life. So if you're a fighter, if you're somebody who, you know, is a no days off person, like, you need to consistently do what needs to be done, you know. So just hold yourself accountable and know that on those days that things are just not going right, things are just like, you're just tired, you're stressed, know that when that day comes that like where you're a bit okay and you're gonna look at those other days and be like, oh, I wish I did that. Like, oh, like why did I could have actually done that. Like you don't want to have that, so make sure you do it.
I think
because you'll feel better for it.
Off that as well, you know, for those that don't know, I used to be a chunky gal, you know. She used to be thick and juicy. That's what I'm gonna say. You know, we're you know, now, you know, she used to be fat. Now we're fat PH. It's different. But you know, what's that song? She got thick thighs. That was me. So yeah, I used to be big. I was skinny before that, and then I lost my way. Was, you know, at a time in my life where I wasn't taking care of myself, and I got myself to 99.9 kg.
Yeah.
So I was sitting at about 74. That was like my...
You just didn't want to go to 100.
That was like
you just don't like round numbers.
I was like...
You just don't like round numbers. So like,
I would always leave the last biscuit. Yeah. So I'd get my pack of 24 Jaffa cakes, and it's just like, no, let's just leave that
I'm
one.
gonna share that one.
Yeah, you can have that.
Share that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to be gready. You know?
I mean,
gluttony. That's a deadly sin.
You can't do that.
I'm not doing it. But so yeah, I actually loved food. Sorry to go off on the tangent. I'm a foodie, and if it wasn't for the fact that I had a plan, this is why I'm always like, I need a plan.
Yeah.
Like, where's my plan?
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm capable of falling off. I
Yeah.
have to have structure and routine.
Yeah.
So yeah, like back to this whole like, you know, putting yourself first and staying motivated. I think for me, because you've never been fat, so you won't get it. So, you know, like when you're so overweight, it's just long. And also starting your fitness journey of that size, you feel like you're never gonna get there.
Yeah.
And even though I'd been kind of, I call it, my friends would say I was in shape then, but if I compare then to now, it's completely different. But you know, being kind of, I'd say commercially in shape, and getting so out of shape, and people would be like, oh, you're not even that fat, but I used to cover myself as well to like kind of hide it. And I would go home and I would take off my clothes and I'd be like, oh, you're just fat, like, and I was so like horrible to myself. But I think it was a good thing because I was aware that I was being lazy, you know. I would make excuses, and because I was a bit depressed, I would have this time to sit home eating a whole chocolate cake. I have fat habits. I used to get like a chocolate cake, I'd heat it up and just put double cream in it, and I'd sit there just watching Netflix and just eat. Like, and I'd be like, oh, I'll just have one slice, and next, you know, I've eaten the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's why I was fat. There was a reason for it. And when I remember 2020 hit, and I looked at myself, 99 kg, and I remember I had a conversation with myself, and I was like, we'd never be in this person again.
They're the best conversations.
And
the mirror conversations. They're the best.
And I swear I was talking to myself like a crazy person.
You have to.
And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I said, do you hear me? I was like, I hate whoever this is. I don't recognize this person.
Yeah.
And we're not doing this again. And from that conversation, I've never gone back. Like, I've managed to sustain like whatever my goals were from that conversation. And I remember at the time it was lockdown, because for the first 3 months I was going to the gym, and then lockdown hit. And I was like, I'm fat. Like, how, like, there's no gyms. How am I gonna like shift this weight? So I would get up every day and I would go for a walk. I even started running, but I was a big girl, so my knees were like, my ankles were going yeet, like as I was going outside. But then I remember, do you remember Chloe Ting? I don't know if you've heard of her. No, she's a Chloe Ting. Shout out to Chloe Ting. I remember I found her on YouTube, and I just found solutions to every problem. Every problem 2020 hit me with, I was like, no, this isn't gonna be me. So you just gotta believe in yourself. And not make excuses, and find solutions, and tell yourself yes every single time. Like, it can be done. And so for when people say to me, oh yeah, but I'm really big, like you're in shape, I was like, brother, I was 99.9. I'm almost 100 kg. And I'm shy of 5'8". That's a big girl. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We hear that. We hear that. That's passion talking. And we love that.
I'm sweating.
We love that. And look how well you've done now. Look
I'm
all
hot.
the hard work that you put in. You've been able to put a focus into what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be in. And this is who you knew you could have been. And you've had to put that work in to get there. And you know what people think about is people only look at the destination. It's about the journey. The journey is the most important thing. The journey. You know, do you know how strong you are to choose a journey to change? Nobody likes change.
Do you know?
Nobody likes change.
Oh.
So for you to say, I'm going to change this, so then this change in my life will be this, that's massive.
And you got to learn to say no as well. People don't, like, I lost so many friends through that process, and like, it was sad because I loved these people and I literally thought they were my ride or die people.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it. Like, I was in so much pain about who I was as a person. Honestly, I remember walking to the shop, like we had a corner shop near where I lived. I brought a big bag of Cheetos. One day I was like, no, like I can't take it anymore. This is too hard. I was exhausted. I brought a big bag of Cheetos, and I remember looking at it like, do I, don't I? Because I brought it and I went home and I looked in the mirror and I was like, do you remember that you was fat? And I remember squeezing it like, like, don't eat it. Like I was getting so worked up, and I just threw it in the bin. It was a waste of money. I know that could have gone to someone. Like, I hear you, but you got to have control.
Yeah,
it's all in the mind.
Yeah,
no
days off.
You know, no days off. Every single day you got to be on it. So, wow. I mean, it's been great. Basically just unpacking your journey, like, it's quite nice. I think everybody kind of talks about the now, and as you say, like, very much in the present, but I think you're such a humble person, and it's sometimes you have I mean, you do have you do have
my
your days.
moments,
but confidence is key, and I think especially in the sport, you know, it's good to be confident, but it's also you got to be confident but not cocky. And I feel
the right C.
Yeah, the right C. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for whoever it is that has joined us today. Let's hope that we've been able to spread a little bit of positivity, or even just if we can help one person in some way to get up and go. That's kind of the main thing here.
Yeah.
So as we say, you know, check out the No Days Off store. Give us a follow on Instagram. We are on TikTok. Where else are we on?
We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
That's the one.
The website,
which is
nodaysoff.uk.store.
Thank you. Go take a look. And again, use Courtney20 if you're looking for a little bit of discount. So thank you guys, and hopefully we shall see you in the next one.
No Days Off, out.
Bye.